Here you have COVID, and the American people have drawn a line. It's not even about masking up or not wearing a mask. Now it's about get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated. And so for me, while a lot of unlearned people, Americans, and we're living in the book of Revelation. I didn't see it though. It is the book of Daniel, the third chapter. It speaks about how the king Nebuchadnezzar set forth the golden image, and when all the instruments sounded off, the sabbath, the flute, the trumpet, when all these instruments sounded off, governments, chancellors, sheriffs, presidents, any leader of the earth, stop what you're doing and pay reverence to this golden image that I've set. And so for COVID, when that occurred, there was a decree set for. Stop what you're doing and pay reverence to the decree. This is a global decree. President, CEOs, religious figures, educators, stop what you're doing, reverence to this decree. And in the book of Daniel, talks about how there were 3 Hebrew boys. They refuted that. I'm not going to bow down and worship this golden image. It's what them 3 Hebrew boys said. And the scripture goes on to speak about how Nebuchadnezzar sent the mightiest of men to bound these boys. And the intention was to put them in the fiery furnace. However, a thought came to mind. I want them to feel this. And so the scripture says that extra clothing and hats were placed on these boys so they will be consumed the more. And so in this day and time, when you think about extra hats, extra clothing, or hats or an extra clothing, what would that consist of? Let's go back to that wordplay. The anti-government. These are anti-vaxxers. You put extra clothing on people and hats by placing stereotypes on them. Furnace is, in essence, society. That's what the fiery furnace is. When society places certain stigmas in place, certain stereotypes, the objective is to consume the individual who have been clothed with those stereotypes. And so I didn't see, most people are not going to, the typical person today wouldn't survive a revelation, anything. What these people experienced was the book of Daniel. When I think about the mark of the beast, I don't believe that people are going to be running around with 3 6s on their right hand or their forehead. My perception of mark of the beast is this. I just gave you an illustration pertaining to the COVID situation and how American people responded to one another. There are people in this world who have been violated sexually, monetarily, meaning they've been robbed, and they can remember where they were, what they were wearing. Trauma, you remember that. You always remember that. Then you have people who have been sexually abused, violated. You remember that. That has marked that person's, their mentals, they marked with that. They'll never forget it. Then you have those people who they know where they were when they, or they remember where they were when they broke their virginity. Things that we experience, it marks our membrane. It marks our memory. And then when you think about a right hand, when I was in that, the Christianity, it talks about how Jesus would sit at the right hand of the Father. Power in that right hand. Even when you watch boxing, I remember in the 80s, a lot of boxing commentators would put a lot of emphasis on, oh man, he hit him with the right uppercut, right jab. They place emphasis on that right hand. The right represents power, which means capacity. Capacity to do what? To demonstrate, to articulate, to exhibit. And so when you look at COVID, people have been marked mentally. Anybody who opposes the vaccine, they are a problem. They are a threat. And what did the people do? They used their right fist, which means capacity, to exhibit. Put your fucking mask on. And so the mark of the beast was exhibited in COVID. People were marked with a certain way of thinking to act out. And people acted out. If your ass wasn't wearing a mask, you got pushed up on. You mark people with a way of thinking, and they exhibited. The mark of the beast is not futuristic. It's not even today. It was like yesterday. This shit didn't already happen. And so, where do we go from here? Because there's no U-turning, there's no moonwalking, there's no reverse. No, it's full force. And so there was, a lot of tests that took place with COVID because, think about it. There was no blueprint to it. There was nothing that people could say, damn, this happened before. There's never been a time when a pandemic involving health crisis impacted the whole world at the same damn time. There was no blue book. There was no book you can go to and refer to. It's like, okay, this is what they did in 1897. This is what they did in 1902. There was nothing to refer to. People say, well, what kind of artist are you? My objective is not to rally people. Not even to empower or educate. My take is, this is the world that you're living in. This is the world that you're living in. And whether you may not like it, this is the world that you have contributed to. March of 2020 happened. And for many, many Americans, they were horrified, petrified. I know people who were like, for years, man, I don't watch the news. I keep my ear to the streets. I don't watch the news. It's depressing. When COVID happened, the American people will say anything, based on their emotions. And a lot of times the American people are wrong. Now all of a sudden you got all these people who for years didn't watch the news. Way before the fake news campaign. Way before that, I don't watch the news. I'm in the streets. Or I don't watch it. I just don't watch it. It's depressing. But after COVID and during COVID, everybody and their favorite uncle wanting to become a news analyst.